Welcome to the Important Questions podcast rated with the most sex and violence of any podcast. My name is Dave. I'm here with the Acolytes of Knowledge, the sexy and violent Acolytes of Knowledge. Rico, Scott, and Smitty.
Hello.
Grr.
I'm hard and angry.
I'm coming.
Good morning, boys. It is Sunday morning where we are recording.
If our energy didn't already say that.
Typically we're a nighttime recording podcast, but think of this as just like your coffee time with the boys here today. We're about to ask you some questions. That's what we do on the show. We got four of us. We got four questions. We also have an intro and a mid-show. All of it is going to be questions this week because we have some listener write-ins that I want to make sure that we make the time for.
Dude, I am loving this involvement.
Engagement.
We are having some great engagement, and the two writers that are on the show today, the listener writers, are both listeners of the show for a long time. So you'll know the intro question comes from a Mr. Stinko.
Ooh.
Oh shit!
And we got a mid-show from our good friend Beau here this afternoon. So
Dude,
we got
yeah.
two of our favorite and most common writers into the show that are doing this shit.
Keep that shit up. That's less that we have to do.
I wonder how Glinko feels about being called Glinko Stinko.
He signs off on his messages as Glinko, and more recently, I think this one he signed off initials. It's GS. So I mean, he's embracing it.
All right.
He's prolific. We just know him by his initials.
Glinko, Stink Beau. And Beau writing in
anyways,
a mid-Beau segment.
The mid-Beau segment. That's right. I like it. I'll start. This week for show notes, Dave, when you're listening, show notes. Mid-show spelled MIDSHEAU. Remember that.
I like it.
Everybody listening is going to be like, what the fuck are show notes?
Show.
Thanks for listening to the show.
You notes NEAUTES.
I wish there was a smart AI transcription software that could take any letter O, like the long vowel O, and turn it into the EAU.
I bet Rico could write that within like half an hour.
Dude,
Rico spelled
ChatGPT could totally
RICEAU.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh man.
All right, boys. Let's jump into our intro this week from our good friend, Glinko Stinko. And Smitty, I believe not too many episodes ago, you said that Glinko tends to have a little bit more substance to his question. He's a little bit more artistic, a little bit more thoughtful on the way he writes questions.
That's what it sounds like. We've gotten like long messages in the past. Is this like a short one?
Yeah, well, get a load of this.
Oh boy.
How often do you guys shit?
Twice
That's
a
a
day.
good one.
Just going right for it.
Typically twice a day.
Typically once a day.
I'm it depends. 1 to 2 times typically. My poop schedule has been a little bit off as of late. I did go back to my morning shits within the last maybe 3-4 days. But typically I was always a morning shitter. The last like 2 weeks I've been after dinner evening shitter. So it's been a little weird, but 1 to 2 times.
Yeah, my average is probably like 1.6, something like that.
Very accurate.
Yeah.
Scott, at one point this year, I think at the beginning of the year, weren't you actually counting your number of poops?
That was like a year and a half, 2 years ago. And I was tallying them, and I gave up once I got to September, I think.
Oh, damn, you almost made it.
Yeah, I now I know the burden of what it's like to be with child, and 9 months is all I could take.
You can just extrapolate out. It's 9 months.
That's a good amount of data.
You can just kind of like guess what the other 3 are going to be like.
It honestly became too much work because I was texting us in the group chat whenever we pooped, and then I was texting on Twitter in our poop chat whenever I pooped, and then I had a third thing that I had to keep track of. That was way too much.
Yeah, I've been a little bit less involved with our text groups poop chat. I feel like all of us have primarily switched to Twitter. And then Rico, you never poop anyways. Today you pooped magically, which is pretty nice.
I did poop today, yeah.
Proud of you.
The coffee hit me real hard and fast.
It's been nice.
Like immediate?
Yeah, I was just like sitting down and hanging out with the kid and the wife outside in the grass, and then it was like, yeah, you got a shit, bro, out of nowhere.
I had that feeling today, actually, which doesn't happen all.
Wife?
No, not the kids, but I was laying in bed at like 8, and I did not have to shit, and then suddenly an alarm bell rang in my head of like, you need to shit now.
That's me at 6 a.m. on the dot every morning, my friend.
I pooped a fucking javelin out my ass.
Ouch.
I shit like 1,000,000 miles an hour. It was like, which, Glinko, to answer your question, once every 4 days, probably. So, I'm like pooping like a neutron star every 4 days because it's so compacted. But yeah.
It's so dense you can burn it and it would burn for like 2 months.
It's like a diamond every single time. There's a little clink every time I poop.
Cracks all up in the porcelain.
Yeah, I have a budget just for new toilets.
A lot of pressure in your colon, man.
Which we found out the cheapest toilet was like $149 at Menards or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get that rebate though.
Fuck yeah. 11%.
I'm getting $9 back on every toilet.
Exactly.
What was the cheapest toilet? 149.
Wasn't that it, or wasn't it 99?
No, there was a $99 toilet.
There was a 90. Okay, so that's every 4 days. That's 91.25 toilets that you need to go through at $100 per toilet. Your toilet budget is approximately $9,125 a year.
It's pretty close, yeah.
That's
I rounded to
assuming
10,000, but yeah.
The ratio is 1 turd to a destroyed toilet. I mean, he might patch it with some Flex Seal in between then and buy him some more time.
Yeah.
Bro,
I shat this toilet in half.
Glinko, how often do you poop?
Yeah.
Let's turn this shit around. You read into us.
Both up against and not against the dryer.
Yeah.
Or washer, whichever one it was.
How often do you poop? That goes out to all of our listeners.
Dryer, poops in the toilet.
How often do you poop?
Text us your poop schedule, 708-433-9153.
Cool.
You satisfied and also warmed up?
Yeah, I got to poop.
I had a feeling that was going to be a better intro question than mid-show. I was thinking about who gets the mid-show slot, who gets the intro slot. I was like, we're just going to... That's almost like one of those... we just recently had the question that's just like, how often do you guys record? It's kind of similar on those lines. It's just like, how often do you do this? How often do you poop? I don't know, once or twice.
Every day. Yep. Every day.
It's like
you piss every day.
Sometimes multiple times.
Mm-hmm. Let's just record us saying various like periods of time. So if we get another question like that, we could just piece in some random bullshit. Like, how often do you guys do this? Once every 5 weeks, and just copy paste it.
Once every 6 months. Yeah. About 3 times a day.
Yeah, I usually once after each meal.
Probably about 6 times an hour, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think I've ever done that.
Probably before bed, at least.
Maybe like
night.
Once a year.
Yeah. Sometimes on the weekends.
I don't think I've done that in about 14 years.
I usually just have my parents do that for me.
My brother helped me do that one time.
Mm-hmm. Only if I have enough PTO from work, I guess.
No.
Yeah.
All right, Glinko. Thanks for writing into the show as always. We fucking love you. All right.
I love how we're getting
who goes first here.
Almost consistent like feedback from listeners at this point. That rocks.
Feedback. How often do you poop?
Well, I mean, interaction, I guess.
We're not going to get feedback.
No.
Also, I have a feeling nobody's going to tell us how often they poop, and that's bullshit, man.
Yeah, we need to know.
Give us a rating, Glinko.
Yeah.
A rating.
Rate our poop schedules.
Yeah.
Sign up for the Patreon, idiot.
Yeah, for real.
Fucker.
Call in.
Yeah, call in. Use your voice. Smitty, what you got this week?
My question is, what movie has aged better and better as time has passed? And this might, I probably should have given this to you guys like ahead of time so you can kind of think about it. So if there's some dead air in here, Dave, you may want to cut it out so you guys can think. But these are a couple movies that I saw recently. Super Troopers was one of them.
Oh fuck
Like
yes!
we had talked about Super Troopers a tiny bit like a couple months ago, but like I watched it within the last month, and it honestly feels better now than it did when I initially saw it a couple years ago. And I don't know why, just like the jokes hit better for me personally, for some reason. I don't know. But then the other example that I have is Terminator 2, which is like one of my go-to comfy movies, which is weird to say about T2, but like I honestly think it's a perfect movie. It has just aged so well because like it's such a tight story. It's not overly complex, but it still has like some like interesting things happening, and like everything is like practical effects other than what's his face playing the liquid metal Terminator.
Yeah.
And even those like the CGI for that still looks really good.
Yeah, Stan Winston
somehow.
Studios, my friend.
Oh yeah, Sam Winston is the fucking
Stan
goat.
Winston, he's fucking awesome. Rest in peace.
Hell yeah. I think he worked on The Thing too. He worked on a ton of shit, but like
yeah, big.
I think he worked on Alien. He's like a
Alien,
big name in special effects.
Part of Jurassic Park, Pumpkinhead.
Oh fuck, Pumpkinhead rules.
I follow the like he started a whole school, and I follow a lot of their stuff. They did like stuff for Doom and yeah, a lot of things. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's just like overall like Robert Patrick as like the liquid metal Terminator. Like it just like everything is just so tight. Like James Cameron did such a good job with like the crew he had and everything. Those are my two examples, and like those are two movies that like I watch. I don't watch Super Troopers very frequently, but like Terminator 2, I watch probably on a monthly basis at this point in time, just because it is so good. But if you have any other examples,
Super Troopers is great, at least for me, because with the first couple times I saw it, I was really young, like probably like 7th grade. So I didn't fully understand like all the jokes and references and stuff. And it's like now as an adult, like if I were to go back and watch Austin Powers now, I don't know if I would like enjoy it more, if it would make me cringe more, because I would understand things.
I watched Goldmember a couple of months ago. It has not aged well. It's not a good movie.
No,
it sucks.
I don't know. I kind of disagree.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, like Austin Powers is supposed to be kind of a massive douchebag.
Oh, I wasn't going to say like he's a douchebag. I mean, like I think he's fine, but like just the jokes don't hit.
I think
it's a lot of pop culture references for a very specific slice of time.
Yeah,
that's true.
Super Troopers was a good example. I like some other classic comedies such as Spaceballs, Airplane, just stuff that's like it like you said doesn't rely on pop culture to make some of the jokes. They're just so stupid.
The Airplane's really tight. Like there's like so many jokes every single fucking scene.
Yeah.
Super Troopers and Airplane are both really good. Outside of comedy, and I totally just looked up a list to give me some ideas, but Pulp Fiction and Shawshank are like high up there. Those
I haven't seen Shawshank in a while, but
oh man,
yeah, I remember really loving it when it was like I saw Shawshank when I was in high school. And that was like the first movie I saw that had like an emotional impact on me, because like it's like the highs and lows of that movie are so well done.
Also with Green Mile.
Oh fuck yeah, Green Mile.
Yeah. Haven't watched that in a while either, but because I think that's one of the movies that I'm like, it's so well done. The people that play like the antagonists or the people that are like big pieces of shit, they do it so well it makes me hate them, and I don't want to watch the movie.
It was like Michael Clark Duncan was the prisoner,
John
right? And it was
Coffey.
Tom Hanks. Yeah.
I also I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Lakeview Terrace. It was a Samuel L. Jackson movie where he played a cop.
Is that with Gerard Butler or
it was just
somebody else in it
Samuel
too,
Jackson and I forgot the guy's name. He's in the Insidious movies. He's got a really really nice masculine chin. That's like the only thing I know about him.
Oh, and he's always got like perpetual stubble.
Kinda.
Okay.
But anyway, it's a good movie, and Samuel L. Jackson was so good in it. He made me hate him for a very long time because he's kind of like a douchebag in that movie, and it's like, God damn, you're really good at this. I kind of fucking hate you.
I don't watch a lot of movies.
Cool, Dave.
Yeah.
Back to the
Which
Future.
which one of the few that you've seen has aged really well with time?
I don't know.
I like deep diving into the classics again. Back to the Future, that one holds up well still, I think.
Hell yeah!
Jaws.
Just watched a few.
Jaws
clips of
holds up so good.
yesterday.
I watched Jaws 3 days ago.
When I was visiting my dad yesterday, Back to the Future 2 came on.
Nice.
It's good stuff.
Jaws is underrated, I think. I need to watch that again.
Is it underrated? That's like considered like one of the greatest movies ever made.
I think because now it's started to become like the stepping point for so many big tropes. Like if you look at movies like The Meg and shit like that, people start to kind of downplay it. But I don't think people realize just how good at least a lot of people our age realize just how good it is, especially for the time.
Yeah, maybe.
My wife and I watched Jaws. It was her first time, but like maybe 6 months ago, and yeah, it still holds up.
Yeah,
so like the build up to the shark is so like it's like maddeningly slow.
Yeah,
it's so good.
I can't say I've really watched the second or third movies.
I'd never seen anything but the first Jaws. Because
Right.
like the joke is always like the other Jaws movies suck ass. Because there's like a bunch of them.
Yeah.
One that I will always watch when I see it on. Well, that makes it sound like I have cable, but I don't. But one that I would like watch all the time if I could is Ocean's 11. Just like something that I saw when I was like younger, and I don't know, really liked it.
It's been a long time since I've seen that.
That one's like, I don't know, I feel like it's a pretty tight movie.
We watched The Departed a couple nights ago too, which like any Scorsese movie holds up pretty well.
Yeah,
because like the man knows what he's doing.
I watched. I went through a pretty big kick when I first read the book The Martian, and then I saw the movie, and it was one of my favorite books, and I think it was probably also my favorite movie adaptation of a book. So for the longest time, I was on a huge kick and just kind of promoting it to everybody in my family, and I've seen it. I can't tell you how many times, and it's still a fucking fantastic movie and book.
Have you guys seen Animal House?
Yes.
My wife
watched that with my wife.
Yeah, like that movie. My wife and I watched it. I think at the beginning of the summer or so, and I think honestly that movie has held up extremely well.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those movies though that would not be able to be made again. At least not in the same way. If
I kind of disagree because like I know there's the part where John Belushi's on the ladder and he's looking into like the sorority house, and it's like played up as like overly like sexual and stuff, but it comes off as like Looney Tunes almost.
I think so. In general, like the concept of the movie, yes, could be made today, but like the way some of the jokes and stuff are just no.
Like the one guy like dating the 14-year-old girl or whatever.
There's that. And
that would
just
apply,
like
but
some of like I can't think of exact stuff, but like racist and homophobic stuff. I think
there is some stuff in there, but like I think overall though it holds up pretty well given the time period. I tried to watch Meatballs the other night, like the Bill Murray movie where he's a camp counselor, and like it was made in the 70s, I believe, too, and it like the 70s are just like a fucking Wild West of what you could put into movies, and they were like using terms like jailbait like in the first like 10 minutes of the movie. Like, damn, I cannot. This is like fucked up. I can't watch this. Not for me.
I think certain actors too, just how I feel about them now will really have an effect on how much of a shit I give about their movies. Like Bill Murray, he kind of fell off for me. I almost like am kind of uninterested in watching anything that he's in now.
He's like been really gross to like actresses and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Yeah, I heard he's kind of a dick, so it makes me not care about. And if you like kind of look at a lot of the roles that he's done, he's like just the same fucking guy.
Like the guy who really doesn't like give a shit and he's just there.
Yeah, like and it's kind of like a smart ass and like a jokester, and it's like, okay, you got anything with like any depth?
Like
Or
a guy
anything
who
like that?
actually like gives a shit about things.
Yeah, Adam
'Cause that's
Sandler
how he is
also
in.
fell off for me too. I don't give a shit about most of his stuff anymore.
Who is it?
Adam Sandler.
There was
He's
a
like,
situation pretty recently where like The Waterboy was on TV and I was like with my parents or at some place where it was just on in the background. And it just flat out sucks.
Yeah, even his good movies like 50 First Dates, I thought was like a legitimately good movie. But if I were to watch it now, I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
he like is so bizarre because he'll do all these like really just garbage movies, and then he'll be in something like Punch Drunk Love or Uncut Gems, which are like legitimately good movies, and they're not just like straight up comedies. They have like funny parts in them, but like
Mhm.
there's like some substance to them, as opposed to like Mr. Deeds or
Yeah.
like fucking I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
I was pretty recently on YouTube, and I think Paul Rubens passing, a lot of like Pee Wee Herman stuff appeared on my timeline. And I rewatched the opening scene to Pee Wee's Big Adventure. And I don't know if you boys have seen that movie front to back or even just that first scene, but like the first 8 minutes of that show or of that movie, it's just this perfect synchrony between Paul Rubens playing Pee Wee and Danny Elfman's music.
Mhm.
And it is just probably one of the best 8 minutes that you could fucking watch.
Yeah.
That
I think
whole
there's
movie,
a-
I think, is fantastic.
There's a lot of really good hidden comedic gems in a Pee Wee movie, especially Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah, I know. It's been years since I saw Big Top Pee Wee,
one's not
but
as
I
good.
remember seeing that one too. But
I still to this day, whenever anytime I get the opportunity to bring it up in public, which is not very frequently, but I like to just throw in I'm a rebel, Dottie. I'm a loner. Just every now and then. And if people get it, like the fucking look on their face that lights up, it's like, yeah, you understand that one. All right. Or
Hell
tell them
yeah.
Large Marge sent you.
Yeah, good shit. And like I think like a lot of these movies that have like longevity, and this is gonna sound like such a boomer thing, but like they don't use CGI very much.
Mhm.
They're like everything's like practical effects, and like some of that is like depending on the time period, like they just could not do that because computers were not advanced enough. But like you look at a movie now, like I don't know, like Mad Max Fury Road, where like they use like practical effects and CGI, and they like didn't just go all in on CGI. They used like actual like explosions and fire and stuff instead of just like using a computer to do it. Like that gives it some longevity as far as not immediately looking super dated. Like my other example of something that is kind of the opposite is like the first Resident Evil movie, which like that whole series is pretty much dog shit and turn your brain off to watch. But like the first one, they have like some CGI dogs in it, and I think they look like PlayStation 1 dogs. It's like very obviously like not well done.
It's a
Which also it was
trapezoid.
made in like the early 2000s or maybe even the 90s, but still like looking at what, you know, Terminator 2 does with CGI versus like a movie made a couple years later and it looks way worse. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like sometimes there's just no excuse for that other than like, you know, you could have done
Russians.
this a better way.
Yeah. A lot of it is just like trying to rush things to get it out the door. You know, they don't have time to do that one shot, so they just do it as quick as they possibly can.
Like even now, I still
Sure.
get annoyed with movies that do like CGI blood, like for like gunshots and stuff, because like squibs will just look so much better. And like, have any of you guys seen the movie Dread with Carl Urban?
No.
It's it's like extremely
like the
good.
Judge Dredd movie.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've seen the one with him.
the
Just
one with
the-
Arnold Schwarzenegger is not very good, but like
Stallone?
oh yeah, Stallone.
Okay.
But the one with Carl Urban is very, very, very good. And the only actual criticism I have for it is that they use CGI blood. But like the rest of the movie is like super tight. So if you've not seen that, go see it.
I have to check that out. I might have a while ago. I don't remember.
Smitty, I think I'll also sound like a boomer with this take too, but any movie that has, and I use this term loosely, an agenda to it, I don't think has very good longevity.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's considered like progressive for its time or not. I don't know if I've told this story on the show yet, so stop me if I have. Have I mentioned when my wife made me watch Legally Blonde with her?
Yeah, I think you. Well, I don't know if you talked about it on the show.
Doesn't sound
Essentially,
new to me.
I think you did. I swear.
well,
you
essentially,
did.
what it comes down to is that was like considered like a very powerful movie for like women in 2000,
Mhm.
and now it's when she sat me down and watched it, she told me it has like a really good story to it and a really good resolve. It does not. It pretty much proved at the end that as a lawyer, she was still only capable of talking about things like hair and makeup.
She was a girly lawyer.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a problem with if movies have like a specific agenda to them, as long as the movie itself is actually good.
I just don't think they age well.
Yeah, that was my issue with the Joker. Like, I really like how it did highlight more about mental health and how important that is, but they like beat the shit out of that message to death. And I was like, okay, we get it. And now you're starting to humanize somebody who's not supposed to be humanized. Like, the Joker's supposed to be kind of supernatural and just a fucked up psychopath with like no legitimate diagnoses and anything like that. He's supposed to be chaos incarnate, and people are like, nope, now let's make him a human and really make him relatable. I'm like, that's not what he's supposed to do, man.
Just watch Taxi Driver. It's like the Joker, but way better.
Yeah.
There you guys saw that smirk. I know you agree. Taxi
It's been
Driver
a
is a
while since
sick
I've
ass
seen
movie.
Taxi Driver, but
That was in the 70s. That was like they were like actively like driving past like porno theaters and stuff. Well, there's like a major plot point that takes part in a porno theater, but like
Is Paul Rubens here?
no.
Fuck yeah.
Anyway,
Hell yeah.
hell yeah. Thanks for indulging my movie talk, guys.
You satisfied?
Yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
Let's talk about something
Let's,
funny and silly.
Let's turn things over to Rico for something funny and silly.
I don't really have a funny and silly question.
Oh,
but,
no.
Shit. I got a funny and silly one.
Let's turn things over to Scott for something funny and silly.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Rico. If you didn't
it's
say
okay, I'm
that.
satisfied.
This question is directly inspired by Impractical Jokers. If you guys haven't seen it, it's one of my favorite shows. Highly recommend it.
It's a pretty funny and silly show.
This is a funny and silly show. This is not an ad. Do you think you could legitimately take care of a horse if someone dropped it off at your house?
Yeah, don't you just have to like shave the things off the bottom of their feet, the hooves? Every once in a while.
I'm talking
I
like
I think you
space,
need a
I'm
more
talking
specialized tool, but
feeding and shaving stuff off their hooves.
nail clippers,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Use your toenail
Scissors.
clippers.
kitchen knives.
What about the financial burden that thing's going to cost? Were you going to buy hay? How are you
I
going
got
to?
grass, whatever.
Yeah,
How
just won't
enough
run
to
out.
feed it though?
don't they need a more balanced diet?
Isn't
Do
the
they have to have a
expression "I'm
good
as
life?
hungry as a horse"?
Do I look like a fucking equestrian?
No, that's why I'm asking this question, because I want it to be fun and silly. I want to know how much you're going to struggle with it.
Because I can't fit a horse through my door, so they ain't staying inside. I have nothing to tie it off outside.
How many people have inside horses?
Well, I'm just saying in general. Like, I don't have a barn or like any spot to like stable the horse. The horse is gonna like nothing's keeping the horse from just leaving my
He's
property.
just chill. He's just going to stay there. And,
No,
and
wait,
be a
don't go.
nuisance. Yeah. This is my house horse. If he jumps up on you, don't pet him, because I want to make sure that he calms down first.
Don't just ignore him until he
Yeah.
calms down.
Throw a
He's
blanket
got
on the
the
couch.
energy of my fucking dog when
Yeah.
people come in through the door.
Throw a blanket on
look
the
him in the
couch so he can lay down.
If you look him in the eye, he starts pissing on the floor.
It's licking peanut butter off your fridge. A little thing that
Constantly
you got.
repairing drywall from when it kicks holes in the wall.
You got a Roomba just completely embedded in a pile of horse shit because it can't move.
Yeah, that sounds easy, honestly.
So I take it this happened in Impractical Jokers? Like one of the Jokers just got left with a horse?
No, that would actually be amazing. This was from one of their challenges where they had to propose TV show ideas, and they wrote them for the other person. So whoever was presenting it had no idea. And the concept was it's a reality show where they walk up to a random family, like especially if one, like a family that has like a kid that's like, I want a pony for my birthday. And they're like, here's a fucking horse. Like now you have to go through all like the financial windfalls of taking care of one and doing it properly and stuff like that. So yeah.
Hold on. I'm looking up the cost of horse ownership.
I've got a fence in my backyard, so it'd probably be okay. But like if it got out, like the community group in my town would be like, hey, there's a stray horse wandering around. Somebody come pick it up.
I don't think it's got a collar on. It might be a stray.
Check the tags.
Yeah. Who the fuck's been feeding the stray horses around here?
Don't pet it. It might have diseases.
It'll get used to more human interaction. We don't want that.
Leave out a bowl of milk for my horse. I'll come pick it up.
Oh man! So if it was going to stay within your respective fenced-in yards, like you picture yourselves going to Farm and Fleet or Tractor Supply Co. every so often for hay and shit.
Yeah, I think the township might have an issue with me keeping a horse in my backyard, though, in a residential area. They're not exactly like quiet animals either, so
yeah, they are. They don't.
I mean,
they don't
guess
they don't neigh and whinny every 2 seconds. They just kind of stand there eating
walk
poop.
around, yeah.
You remember I bitched about my neighbors that have the dogs? It's mid years too. You got like the dogs that'll run against the fence and just try to like fucking fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Imagine a horse response to that.
You're gonna soak a horse with a hose, be like, stop climbing on that.
Hey, get off my flowers.
Yeah.
It probably would eat your entire garden, Dave.
Oh yeah, my raspberries, my strawberries, my fucking sprouts, tomatoes, all fucking gone.
All gone.
All gone.
You're like yelling at your horse, and it just looks at you
the
like
horse.
stupid.
Yeah.
Like
As
I don't understand what you're mad about.
It's chewing on a tomato vine. It's like, what are you pissed off about? And then you have to fill up another 5-gallon poop bucket with the horse shit.
That's a bad boy.
Yeah.
You don't. I put the tomato like up to its face.
You're like tapping it on the nose with like a newspaper. No.
You shove its face near its poop. Not here. Not here. You know better
Trying to
than
pick up horse apples with a fucking dog pooper scooper.
I think we'd be great at this, Scott.
I would think so too. I mean, that's what it sounds like so far.
Also, did we determine this was like a tame horse, right?
Yeah.
It's a wild horse. You have to break it first.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. You have to break the horse first.
No, it's a tame horse. Somebody's just like, here you go.
So the cost of horse ownership, it's pretty variable online here. But the median cost that I'm seeing across a few different websites here is anywhere between $5,000 to $7,000 per year.
That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No, and that's again, you could probably go lower than that if you're trying to be a more budget conscious horse owner. Some of the higher ends list like closer to $20,000 a year. So that includes the foot trims, food, dentistry. Apparently, you got to get your horse's teeth checked. I didn't know that. Boarding fees if you want to put them in a barn somewhere.
You think your local Petco or Walmart, just one that's not even in like any sort of rural area, would have anything to help take care of a horse? Like if you walked over by like where their dog and cat food is, be like, you guys have like horse pellets or something?
Yeah, where's the horse chow?
Pellets?
Yeah, I don't know.
The gerbil?
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't think about horse or cat and dog food first. My first thought was birdseed. I don't know why.
You just buy a sack of apples for it every couple hours.
A sack of apples. Oh my god!
Give me all your apples.
Yeah.
My local grocery store on occasion has like bulk carrots for sale.
Yeah.
I don't know if they just get like too many, but they'll sell like a bag of what they call juicing carrots. And it's a legitimately like 20-pound bag of carrots that they sell for like $5.
God damn.
My horse would live on carrots.
And a bag of Takis for the horse.
Yeah.
We could have a moment.
big bag of carrots and like a little thing of sugar cubes. You're like, all right, I hope this is balanced.
Sugar and vegetables. Exactly.
Yeah, because Dave, you don't even have grass anymore. You got rid of that.
No, sir, it is gone. It would be eating my tomato vines.
Maybe it could eat your vineweed or whatever it's called.
That, you know what? That's true.
You guys should
And
get a
to a
horse.
lesser extent, like maybe fuck the horse, but like maybe a goat would
Don't
make more
fuck the
sense.
horse.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
I don't
really
want to. That was not
wouldn't do
part of
that.
the question. We're talking mostly financial responsibilities.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
Unless you're trying to make baby horses, then
Well, yeah, you got to pass on the horse ownership burden to everyone else.
Yeah, there you go,
you
Rico.
think the
That's
horse would be
actually
bald.
that's a good point. You can turn it into investment and use it as a stud, or potentially a surrogate or something. You breed it, maybe. I
That's
don't know.
assuming that someone leaves like a showman style, like perfect breed horse at your doorstep.
That's fair. You could also just bullshit and be like, no,
I'm
he's great.
not
This is a great
I'm not
horse.
in on horse ownership. I imagine it's very similar to dog ownership in the sense there are those like purebred and like high quality horses, and then like inbred mutt horses.
Well, yeah, but
I got a
I
sometimes,
could be
dog shit
wrong.
horse.
sometimes
Damn
those stray horses have the better genes. It's the purebreds that get sick.
That's
Mhm.
true, but
true.
for some reason they're still not worth as much.
What would a mutt horse even look like? Because I feel like it would just look like a horse.
A
It's not
mule.
Smashed in nose,
Yeah, it's a
like
mule.
a smashed in
Yeah.
nose.
It's just a mule.
like a what are they, bulldog or what's the one?
Like a
Pug.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Just walking around breathing like that.
What do you think the first mule owner thought? It was just like, wait, what the fuck? Did
wrong with that
you
horse?
fuck, did you fuck that donkey?
It's the farmer with his hands on his hips talking to the horse. You fuck that donkey.
Yeah.
What the
Smacking him in the
fuck is
newspaper.
this?
The horse won't look him in the eyes.
What if he didn't know that donkeys and horses could even crossbreed? And he's like, how the fuck did this happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. I named this horse Jesus. Divine intervention happened. I don't know. I never
That
watched
same
it.
guy becomes like a fucking scientist after that moment. You see him like a year later with an orangutan and a fucking gorilla in his backyard.
That would be a
It
hybrid.
will work.
That would be a fucking
will work.
sick animal hybrid. I'd love to see that.
Can't zebras and horses mate too? Like
Yeah.
a lot of those families are so close together genetically that they're able to spawn healthy offspring, I think.
Yeah, I don't really think yeah. Zebras and donkeys, mules, I mean they're all the same, and there's like 8 million different species of horses. They just look fucking similar.
Mm-hmm.
On the opposite side of that, there's like a lot of animals that are extremely similar that have no crossbreeding capability, like the Asian and the African elephants. There's like
can't?
no.
Really?
They're so incredibly genetically different.
I didn't know that.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Nature's amazing.
Yeah.
Kind of like how when they crossbred tigers and lions, and they all had like or was that something else? I thought like one of
The
them.
liger.
Yeah, there's
Well,
like
it depends if
there's a liger
which
or a
is
tigon
which.
or something.
Yeah, if like the male's a lion, if the female's a tiger, I think it's a ligon. But
they come
That's
out
a dumb fucking name.
They come out
Yeah,
like
tell me about
infertile and stuff.
yeah, and they're also like their bone structure is all fucked up, so they're like huge, but they don't live very long because they're not meant to breed. Like they can, but that doesn't mean they should.
Yeah, they're like Great Danes. Got like a lifespan of like 4 years.
Yeah.
Rip Scooby Doo.
So, just Rico, I know you don't have pets, but just knowing the cost of your current pets, Dave and Smitty, and you said the average cost, let's say $5,000. You guys think you could actually support a $5,000? Was it a year or every 6
Yes.
months or something?
Yeah. that's
That
what it
kind
was.
of burden to feed a horse and the time.
We'd have to tighten our belts a little bit financially,
Got to walk
and
it.
also we'd have
Yeah.
to buy toys for it. So I'd have to go to the auto parts store and ask for any spare tires that they have, so the horse can kick it around. Maybe steal like a couple of volleyballs from school. Let the horse play with those.
I think I would genuinely enjoy watching a horse kick a tire around. That would be pretty fun.
Yeah.
I I get the feeling that's what it would do when it's bored.
Yeah.
Like you see like a kid on the street who like looks obviously bored, but he's like kicking a ball, just like entertain himself.
Like the bears of the zoo where you just put like a bucket in there and it somehow gets it on its head.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott, I think I could probably take on the burden, but that would not impact the rest of my life positively at all.
Yeah, I'm in a small apartment and I have to ask my landlord if I could park my my horse on his turf, where his dogs bark constantly and also shit every now and then.
You could just sell your Jeep and keep it in the driveway.
Yeah,
Tie the post in the middle.
That would suck when I'm ready to like drive back home to Illinois. It's a 14-hour car ride. I don't know how far it would be by horseback. I'd have to look that up on Google Maps.
Select the Oregon Trail option.
Yeah, assuming I could be on I-80 on a fucking horse.
Yeah, that might be a problem.
Yeah, still gonna pull into a Casey's gas station for some breakfast pizza and fire out of shit.
You put the gas nozzle in its asshole.
It doesn't do anything. That's just for fun.
Yeah.
Somebody's watching. You're like, I'm just kidding. I know this doesn't work.
It takes diesel. I know.
He likes it.
Yeah.
That would be
like
funny.
a horse would cause financial stress on my household, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big
I
time.
don't think it would ruin my marriage, but I think it would cause us a lot of stress.
Then you'd have the added trip of like not only going to the grocery store but also going to grab another bale of hay from the local farmer, and that would just fucking suck. Hay sucks too. It's dusty. It's itchy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What if it like gallops around at night and like you get up in the middle of the night and you're like, honey, the horse is restless again. I got to go stand outside with it till
Got
it
a
falls
fucking baby
asleep.
monitor out there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say this sounds oddly familiar.
Yeah, you have a book, you have to read it. Okay. All right, buddy.
Yeah.
Good night, moon. Good night, cow jumping over the moon.
Guess how much I
You're
love
showing
you.
it the pictures and it starts chewing on the book. It's like, no, you read.
Oh god.
It's fucking awesome. You're like yelling at it. You're like, it's a school night for fuck's sake. Go to sleep.
It's like 3 a.m.
That Smitty, that reminds me of an experiment in it was like the 1930s.
Oh God, what was this experiment? How unethical was this experiment?
Very. So it was Gua. It was the name of a chimpanzee, and an animal psychologist. His name was Winthrop Kellogg. Decided to take I think it was like a 7 or 8 month old chimpanzee and raise it alongside with his son Donald, who was also about 7-8 months at the same time, and decided that they would raise them together as siblings.
Yeah.
And he was convinced that chimpanzees can essentially break out of their nature through nurture. And that was a pretty fucked up experiment. I'm pretty sure Donald grew up and ended up killing himself in the 1970s.
God damn. Jesus.
And then the monkey was released after 2 years when the owners realized that no, it would not grow up to be a human. It was still a fucking chimp.
Yeah. Christ.
Imagine
Like
that.
some apes can use like rudimentary tools and things. Like they'll use sticks to like get like ants out of an anthill and that sort of thing, or they'll use like sharp sticks to like spear fish. But like that's the extent of it.
Right.
Like I was reading about, so on the internet there's all these dumbass grifters who are like, you should eat raw liver. It's more primal, just like our caveman ancestors did. It's like the reason we're humans now is because cavemen discovered fire, because it takes less like energy to get the nutrients out of cooked food versus raw food, raw meat specifically. And so like over time, our brains like got larger and more intelligent because we're not having to devote so much energy to like processing raw meat anymore.
Yeah, it kind of blows my mind. I think that guy's name is the Liver King, Smitty. I've seen him before.
Oh, there's a couple of them. He's the big one though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally
he
too.
is
He's fucking
very disgusting.
roided out like a motherfucker.
It just blows my mind that like people look back to that time. Like, wasn't the average age of humans like what, 37 years or some shit?
allegedly, I think there's probably a lot of debate about it, but you did not live, like, if you lived probably past 30, you were considered ancient.
Right. And I'm sure a lot of that just had to do with, a lot of injuries would probably kill you in that time, or like viruses would kill you that don't kill you now. I'm sure a lot of that was also their really shitty fucking diet.
Yeah.
And I say that with no defense of the Western diet.
People in the early 1900s were even smaller than we are now because their diets were comparatively so bad.
Right.
Like even that short of a time span. Like if you go to a museum and it has like uniforms from like World War I, you can see how small people were compared to how much taller and like broader we are now.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying I can kick a Marine's ass 100 years ago?
He probably could have, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I still don't think I could.
No, I don't think I could either.
Probably not.
I'm pretty fucking satisfied. I think a horse would be horrible, honestly.
I'm happy you're satisfied, and I fucking agree. Let's
Yeah.
jump into mid-show, boys, and I'm going to present this mid-show, and Beau didn't purposefully do this, but I'm going to present it as an on-trial mid-show, because I think it has the opportunity for that.
Okay.
Here at the Important Questions podcast, we take our stupid ass thoughts and opinions and put them on trial.
Beau wrote in, and the on-trial is essentially going to be all of us versus each other. That's what we're debating.
It's a free-for-all.
It's
Hell
a free-for-all. If I was in legal trouble and needed a lawyer, which one of you boys is getting me out scot-free, a.k.a. who is the best lawyer? P.S. I am not in need of a lawyer or in any legal trouble.
Thanks for clearing that up.
I've seen Better Call Saul, so that's
Buddy, I've seen that too.
my point. Oh, okay, well,
I saw My Cousin Vinny.
Buddy, I've seen that too.
It's been a while since I've seen that one. I watched Daredevil.
That's a good one.
He's a lawyer.
I've seen Liar Liar.
But you're not blind, though.
So
Liar,
I guess
liar,
That's
yeah.
why I said I've seen Daredevil.
I guess I'll start by saying it depends on the crime and it depends on the evidence, because I know a lot of like attorneys kind of have to be soulless leeches
Yeah.
to defend certain people. So Beau, if you were out there like killing and raping and pillaging and the evidence was against you, I would sabotage you because I think you're a piece of shit.
So you have
and-
morals and ethics.
Yeah.
Right. So in that sense, maybe I'm not the best choice.
I'd like to speak along the same thing, pretty much. If you done fucked up, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also
And I'll tell
not,
the judge,
like-
I'm like, no plea deal. Give this motherfucker the chair.
Yeah, he absolutely murdered that guy.
sometimes I struggle with like trying to debate things with people who obviously don't even like want to open up their mind a little bit. So I'd just be standing there and be like, come on, man, just fucking think about, come on.
Come on,
How are you not seeing this from my point of view?
Yeah.
You're at the jury, like, think about it.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Yeah. Not just from my point of view, but if it's like something objective, like this is like, if everybody knows that this is the right thing to do and this is what's going to give the most amount of people the highest benefit possible, and people do the opposite, I'd just be like, why are you so fucking stupid? Come on.
Calling the jury stupid.
people are motivated by fear and or money, so I would just bribe and or threaten the jurors.
The carrot and the stick
legal way.
simultaneously.
The judge is like, Rico, you may approach the stand. He's like, $20 for anybody who wants to side with us, and if not, I'll fucking kill you. And they're like,
I'll
that's
pay you
it.
and kill you.
Yeah,
kill
those
you.
Those are my closing arguments,
Yep.
Your Honor.
So choose me.
Yeah, Rico would probably be the best bet, since I think you think a lot more about what you say based on the fact that you don't talk as much, but everything you do say is 100% just chef's kiss. So
I'd let the prosecution bury themselves a hole
yeah,
by just talking too much.
and you just like sit there leaning the
I'd
mic
see
like,
right through that bullshit.
that is incorrect. And then they're like, oh fuck yeah, he got us.
I'm so bad at like attention to detail and shit. Like I feel like a lot of like court cases are make and break depending on, you said the fingerprints were X, but we discovered that there was this missing piece in the scene. I can't fucking find the ketchup in the fridge half the time when it's right in front of my face.
It also doesn't help because you've got 8 million bottles of sauce in there.
Well, then let's use something else. For example, I can't
There might
find
not
my
even
fucking
be
eggs.
ketchup in there.
I would probably procrastinate my defense and until the night before, and
Yeah.
therefore lose.
I'd realize courts in the morning, like, fuck, I didn't
so
write
I did.
anything.
They'd be like, I'm too tired for this. Whatever. Just prosecute him. Fuck it.
Notes are scribbled on a bar napkin.
He did like holding it up to your face. He did not do it.
Yeah.
He did not.
You gotta
Council
like
arrest.
Oh, hi,
turn
Mark.
it and rotate your head with it.
What I write here?
Yeah.
Like you're twisting your hand around. It's all smeared on the palm of your hand.
Hold on, I think I got some
Fuck, I
notes
shouldn't have
typed
used
in
a-
my phone.
Shouldn't have used a thick Sharpie for these notes. Fuck.
Yeah, I'd be a pretty
So,
bad lawyer.
yeah.
I rest
I'd
my
be a
case.
terrible lawyer, Beau.
Same. None of us? Is that a valid
Yeah.
answer?
I think the answer is none of us.
I like how you're
You
gonna.
can barely take care of a horse.
Yeah.
Do you think you could take care of the horse better or be a better lawyer? Honest,
Horse.
100% honest.
Horse.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
E-
horse.
Easy horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it was for something minor like a traffic violation.
Maybe bird law. Be okay with that.
Bird law.
What about
Thanks.
tree law?
Dude, tree law is like crazy, right?
Tree law is insane.
Yeah,
Like,
people go to jail over that shit.
oh yeah, like if you like trim a tree that doesn't belong to you or something, like you can get fucked up.
I have
Financially.
that scenario. I think I need to like go talk to my neighbor and see if it's okay to trim the tree that is like almost touching the ground in my yard.
Make sure you get express verbal consent,
consent.
and written for your records.
And depending on the type of tree, you might not even be able to trim it without a professional present, or might not even be able to trim it yourself anyway.
Also have a
Isn't
notary
that only
present.
isn't that only dependent on like whether or not there's like power lines and shit?
It depends on the type of tree too, because like some trees are technically considered endangered and such.
So Smitty and I would be the best lawyers because we know about tree law.
Yeah.
Maybe fish law too.
I don't know shit about that.
Fish law.
Just have your PowerPoint presentation. Check out this fish.
Yeah.
Boop.
That's all it is. Just cool pictures. You're like, yeah.
Cool
Isn't-
fish I
isn't
found
that thing
pictures
cool?
of.
Yeah.
Just,
like,
you're
yeah.
just
Outward,
giving
it's
a
like
book report
fun.
to the jury on
I feel
like a dictionary of fish pictures.
You have to wait for each of the slides to have like their fancy transition and their sound effects from using PowerPoint 2003.
It's like a picture of a swordfish. Hey, look at that guy. Look at that guy's fuking nose. That's weird.
each fucking fish name shows up as like a race car. Brown trout.
Yeah.
There's a little
Rainbow
bounce and then
trout.
it shoots up.
Yeah. And then it swipes and then it dissolves into triangles and shit.
And then at the end, it's the fucking applause sound effect.
Yeah. You cite your sources at the end. It says all pictures taken from Google Images.
That, or even worse, they're all
Google.com.
clip art.
Clip art trout. You see somebody in the jury like taking notes, really like interested, like leaning forward.
The whole 12 Angry Jurors is like, no, I thought the catfish was cooler than the swordfish.
Catfish eat trash.
Yeah.
Swordfish for life.
And there you go. You distract the entire jury, and then everybody's be like, "This lawyer entertained us, so we're gonna vote for him or whatever." The fuck.
Wait,
I don't
wasn't
know
this
how
a
it works.
murder trial?
We're gonna vote for the lawyer because that's how juries work.
Yeah.
I think that lawyer
Guys,
killed the
this-
guy. What was
this
that?
Beau- judge is just like,
this
which
Beau
lawyer did
character was
better?
killing, raping, and pillaging.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but the fucking fish.
Yeah. I sent a guy to his death, but he showed me a picture of a sailfish. It was pretty cool. Did you know those things exist? Have you heard of a
You just have
flying
a-
fish?
You have like a one PowerPoint slide. It's like list of law I am not familiar with, and then it's everything. And then the next is like list of law I am familiar with. Tree.
Fish, and then in quotes it says like some.
Freshwater only.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of guy where it's like I've never been called to jury duty. Have any of you guys been called to jury duty?
I'm not going to
No,
answer
not
that
yet.
question.
I just got a thing in the mail saying that maybe I'll have to at some point.
My wife had one recently as well. She was on a list of like 1,000 people, but like they select a certain range of like we're going to only take jurors from like 68 to 268. You have to call a number first, and then if you are part of that, then you have to go in and decide if you're going to get picked out of that group. But she wasn't picked out of that group at all, which was very nice.
Something happened to my wife.
But I've always thought about, like, if I was ever called to jury duty, I don't ever want to fucking do it.
No, I'm racist.
And there's a lot of there's a lot of like,
I hate
what are the excuses that you can make
fair
to
enough.
get out of jury duty?
Hate
I
the
would do
cop.
the same thing as a fucking lawyer. Like, my first thing would just be like, Your Honor, I don't want to be here.
Your
I think
Honor,
I'd
the
probably
cops
get out of it.
definitely lied about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they planted evidence or something. Yeah.
I am very anti-law enforcement, Your Honor.
Sir,
I
this
think-
is a tree law case?
Fuck the pigs, Your Honor.
I think if you go in and declare yourself a communist, I think that immediately invalidates you.
Hell yeah.
Throw your ass in jail anyway.
Yeah, they would.
You have your own trial set that day.
Hopefully I get a good attorney.
You guys
One
want
that's
to see a
well-versed
picture
in
of a
fish
cool
law.
fish?
It's the public defender, and he gets out his Rolodex of pictures of birds.
Somebody in the
Fuck,
back's
it's a fish
like,
guy. God damn
"Ooh, bring the fish back."
So, Beau, write in and say which one of us you think would be the best lawyer.
Yeah. Also, which crime did you commit?
And what's your favorite fish?
Yeah. All right. Well, Beau, thank you for writing in. As always, we fucking love you.
it. Mhm.
All right. I'll go next. And my question this week is, what is the worst take or opinion that you have ever seen on the internet? And my first example, as I'm pulling it up, because I'm a dumbass and I didn't have it ready to go.
Wow.
I
Damn
saw a
it,
guy on
speakers
Twitter.
over.
Saw a guy on Twitter about 2 weeks ago, and he was legitimately trying to argue that deodorant wasn't necessary.
I fucking saw
Um,
that guy too.
He was saying that like deodorant was invented in like the late 1800s, and it was marketed to solve a problem that didn't exist. Essentially saying like no one had a problem with body odor until we were told that we have a problem with body odor. He's like, it's conspiracy. It's all there to just make money off of a problem that doesn't exist. They're just draining you. It's number one, you know that guy smells like shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that
Um,
guy smells like raw onions at all times.
Right. And then number two, sure, maybe that didn't exist until like the 1890s. People still bathed. People still recognized that, like, yes, it's good to be clean and it's good to bathe yourself. Maybe they couldn't bathe like unless it's like once every 30 days or something. I know it was infinitely harder to do something like that, but there was already the recognition that it was better to be clean. And then number two,
Okay.
I've smelled body odor, as I'm sure you all have at one point too. It's infinitely better to spend fucking money to smell good than to not fucking spend money and smell like goddamn trash. Like, yes, we should stigmatize smelling like fucking ass because it sucks. And I'm sure people in the 1890s recognize that it sucked too, which is why something like deodorant took off to begin with. If everyone was literally not offended by BO, then deodorant would have never taken off. You
Right.
can market all you want, like, hey, you stink, you stink, you stink. But if everyone decided, like, no, we don't fucking stink,
Yeah.
then nothing would have fucking happened. So it just such a fucking dumbass baby brain take.
I have zero input because that was put really well.
I think people
Thank you.
wildly underestimate how often people bathed in the past. Like people are always quick to point out, like people in the medieval times only bathed like once every 6 months, and like that's not fucking true. Like they bathed probably as often as they could.
Mhm.
You know, whether or not it
Yeah.
was like as effective as it was today is not what's in question. Like, but people like probably tried to at least stay as clean as they could, given the
I mean,
resources they had. Also, like perfumes
sure.
and like smelly things that smelled good. That's been like part of human culture since fucking forever.
Yeah.
Like people have always wanted to smell like good things. You know,
Oh yeah, like burning incense in like the church and shit like that. Like that's
Oh, yeah.
that's been around for fucking ever.
like,
I've been-
I mean, you hear stories about like ancient kings and stuff who were like gifted perfumes so they smell like those spices or whatever. Like that's been part of like civilization since civilization has existed as a concept.
Oh yeah.
I bet it didn't even start as like a shaming thing. I bet somebody just back in the day was like, you know what? It'd be kind of cool to smell like sandalwood rather than old onions.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that'd be pretty neat,
They found
Yeah,
something
and
that
then
smelled
they-
good and they rubbed it on themselves and they're like, damn, I smell much better now.
right?
Right. And it's obvious like they targeted the armpits because that's where a lot of the smell fucking comes from. They're like, shit, like we can make something that targets one of the worst offenders of body odors.
I mean, there's certainly like historical texts that talk about like applying different smells to your body. And like there's stuff about that in the Bible, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Like they talk
yeah,
about
that's
washing
true.
feet, for Christ's sake, because feet are disgusting and they
Yep.
probably stank to high heaven.
Really weird. I started rubbing flowers into my armpits and then having sex more often. Wonder if that's
Yeah.
ever going to catch on.
I'm
It's
more
just-
desirable because I stink less.
Like
Nope, it's a
I
construct,
understand.
bro.
it's a fake thing. BO doesn't exist, and it's like, all right, take a whiff of any hallway in like May of the school year. Like it stinks. Okay, like you will smell the worst body odor ever if you are in a school in late May.
Or axe.
You're only offended by that because you were told by the market to be offended by that.
Damn, the invisible hand of the free market wins again.
Yep.
Got 'em.
But nobody told me to be offended by Axe body spray, and it's pretty fucking offensive the way that people use that shit too.
Your nose
Yeah.
should have told you that.
Maybe
Yeah,
this guy
it's
just got
just-
COVID and can't fucking smell.
Maybe.
That wouldn't surprise me.
It's like it's also like an evolutionary thing, right? Like you're supposed to be able to detect a pleasant smell from a not pleasant smell for the sake of like, has this food gone bad?
Right.
So I mean, we're pretty well discerned as far as what is a good smell and what is not a good smell. And deodorant solves a problem that totally exists.
Like I get people who are like, don't use modern deodorant because it's got like aluminum or whatever the fuck in it and it might be bad for you. But like to say that body odor just does not exist at all is like demonstrably false.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't
Anyways.
take any sort of like tools to go out and be like, hey, those people stink because they've been working out and they didn't shower.
Is there
Yeah.
any chance that this person's confused with like antiperspirant? 'Cause, like,
I don't
can
know.
understand that as like an argument, maybe more so than like just deodorant, I guess.
I group them together,
Well, they do different things, right?
right?
Yeah, but most of the
Antiperspirant
time you can't
stops
really
you from-
buy one without the other these days.
There's plenty of
I could be
deodorants that are
wrong,
not
but-
antiperspirant, but I like the
Yeah.
antiperspirant ones because I fucking sweat like a mother.
Same. Like I can't use just deodorant.
Sweating is like a good thing, right? It helps like cool your body or something.
Yeah, but that's also where some of the odors carried.
Yeah, true.
Mhm.
It's true.
And it's like the
I've
microbes
gotten-
in the sweat too, reacting with like the oxidation of the air.
Mhm.
That's what causes the stink.
Also makes my
Yeah.
shirts look gross, and then people judge me.
That too.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I probably got wicked pit stains on this shirt from because it's old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got plenty of white T-shirts with yellow armpits.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Got yellow.
Anyways,
'cause deodorant.
totally want to extend this to you boys. What are some of the most shit tier takes you've seen on the internet?
I've
I
got
have a
one.
fun-
Like Rico, do you want to say yours immediately? Because like I've got one locked and loaded as well. So
I have one
feel
that
free.
might piss you off.
Let's
Hell
hear
yeah.
it.
So I'm on some like parenting. Well, in the past, I guess I don't really go on Reddit much anymore, but there's one called "Shit Moms Say,"
No boy.
and there's been a ton of posts on there showing people on Facebook or whatever saying that they nurse their kid and have sex while nursing their kid. Like, there's,
Oh, what?
That's
the
Yo,
fuck?
and they say it's not weird because the kid doesn't know it's happening.
That's no.
And they rationalize it by like, you know, we're quiet and we're under the blanket and like all this stuff, and it's fucking disgusting and sexual abuse.
First of all, not that it really should matter, but is it a newborn you're talking about, or like what? is it one of the
Yeah,
fucked up parents?
some
that, like,
people
breastfeeds
breastfeed to like obscenely long ages.
Yeah, and
Yeah, too.
also
Some, like 2 or 3. Yeah.
how is that even
Shit,
like
dude.
comfortable for the kid? And stupid milkshake joke, insert that wherever you want. The kid's gonna be sitting there, and if you're like trying to plow your wife, you're gonna be like shaking the shit all over.
Just in general, like my take on this is like having a boner in the presence of a child
Yeah, it's pretty
is
fucked
running
up.
very parallel to pedophilia,
Yeah,
regardless
Yeah, what the
of what anyone else on that fucking group may say. Like that's fucking weird.
yeah. I
Like,
also
Dave, I will say, like, I don't think there's a problem with like putting the kid in like the bassinet while you have marital relations with your spouse and you're in the same room, as long as you're not being like maybe like overly loud, I guess. But because
I'll
like
agree to
whatever
that.
you're saying, like the volume is probably gonna freak the kid out more than anything. But
Yeah.
just like with the kid right there is just that there's a line there. There's a pretty
There's also
clear line.
Yeah.
Totally fine to like move the bassinet into the hallway and like mostly shut your door. That feels better. 'Cause you can still
Yeah,
hear the baby
too.
crying.
and then
But,
there's just
yeah,
a fucking
it's just
baby
it's
sitting in
just
a
the fact that,
hallway.
like,
The birdcage.
it's just the fact that like the child is attached to the person you're fucking.
yeah.
Like
what
that
the
is
fuck?
that's
It's
not good.
Makes the baby part of the act.
Why can't they wait?
Yeah.
Why can't they breastfeed, finish doing that, and then have sex? Why do they have to be at the same time?
Gotta get your fuck on, man.
Yeah.
Don't like
Can't
that.
waste a boner.
yes.
I
Never
mean, that
waste a
almost
boner.
comes off as like a weird fetish thing, though, when you kind of hear
It
about
does.
it.
Like you're
in that sense.
incorporating somebody else into this act who cannot consent to it.
I don't want to meet these people. That is a garbage take.
That's fucking gross,
So,
dude.
Yeah. I
what
just
was the response
feel
on this
bad.
forum, Rico?
It's usually like a post of like a Facebook post. So like a screenshot of a Facebook post.
Gotcha.
It's the subreddit was like, devoted to just like showing off these fucked up things people say, kind of. And everybody's like, yeah, it's
So like
Yeah, it's
universally,
weird
people are
shit.
like reviled by this.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically. Usually they don't post the comment or the replies or whatever. But yeah.
I imagine like
No,
any
you-
normal person would be like completely disgusted by something like that.
Yeah.
What adds to it too is like, on Facebook you can like, react with an emoji or whatever, and you'll see thumbs ups and hearts and then angry, but it's like, why are there thumbs up and hearts?
Right.
What the fuck?
Because
I'll be like,
yeah.
well, it should be just empty because you should probably stop following that person, I guess. But
Yeah. I think you'd add the crying emoji too, which honestly might have been my choice.
Yeah, but you console the crime by shoving a titty in there while somebody's fucking her.
mhm.
That's tough.
So that's my fun hot take.
Ugh.
I feel gross.
God damn.
I'm gonna shower as soon as we're done with this.
Put on
Don't forget to put in
some
deodorant.
deodorant.
The ones that I have, the first one I saw was like, so like it was on Twitter, obviously, and somebody was like, you don't have to. It was in regards to like people who want to be writers as like a career. And they, in the post, they were talking like, you don't have to read books to be a good writer. And like, I don't remember, this was like months ago and it's stuck in my brain though. They were saying that like, you can still be a powerful, good writer, even if you don't read. And I wasn't sure if they were talking like read on a regular basis, as in like, they don't have time to do that, which I don't agree with that, but like, I guess you could make that argument if you're like short on time. Like you don't have to read every single day to be a good writer, I guess, as long as you are reading. But like to say that you don't have to read it all to be a good writer is like the most dog shit thing I've ever heard. It's like the same thing of like, if you want to be a good artist or like good musician or a good programmer or a good anything, you need to be like indulging and like immersing yourself in that vocation and seeing what other people do in that. You can't just like, I'm gonna become a songwriter and I'm never gonna listen to music. Like what the fuck? Like you don't know any, then you're not gonna be like, you need to have some examples. You can't just like pull your own stuff out of the ether. Like that's impossible because you're going to be reinventing the wheels so many fucking times and it's also going to be way less efficient.
Yeah, I want to be a chef, but I've never eaten a meal.
But like it's also like you're disrespecting your own craft that you are supposedly interested in. You know, like if you want to be a writer but you don't want to read, then like what the fuck are you even there for?
Mhm.
Like you don't like to read, and then why even bother being a writer?
I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, but I have one.
Yeah, that's fair. That's actually probably the most accurate thing.
I feel that's
listen
a little
to, like, 2 or
different because
3 other
podcasters are
ones.
all going to hell.
We're different.
Yeah.
That's a shit take.
For I mean, for what it's worth, the whole idea of this podcast is a direct tie to the Biggest Problem in the Universe podcast, the original Biggest Problem in the Universe, not the one that Dick Masterson does now after he became a piece of shit. But that was totally the inspiration behind this show. So I mean, I guess to some extent there was like a reason why even podcasting came up as an idea in the first place.
Sure. And like my other thought is like, if you, I don't know, that bothers me a lot. And like a lot of times when you see stuff like this on Twitter, more often than not, it's very clear they're getting ratioed a billion times by people who are like, hey, this is fucking stupid and you're wrong.
Or doing it on purpose just to
Yeah,
for
the hate
compliments and
farm.
engagement. Yeah.
Yeah. But that especially bothers me as an artist, because it's like, are you fucking like, if you are not going to like actually engage with what you're trying, like the community you're trying to add things to, then you don't actually care about it.
Right.
You know, the other hot take that I remember was that white people own dogs because they like the idea of being subservient over another like living creature, because they have an inherent urge to go back to slavery times, which was again another like dog shit take that everybody in the comments was like, you're fucking stupid and this is insane.
That is extremely dumb. And I have an important question that could jump off of that, obviously, for another episode, so I'm not gonna get too far into it, but that's fucking stupid.
No, I own a dog because I love dogs.
I hate
it has nothing to do with anything else.
I also hate the people that just inherently feel like they have like the only super important take, or like there's only one good choice. Like on dating apps and shit, I see a lot of people that are like, I only like dog people. Like, what the fuck? You really, if I were to tell you that I have a cat, that's gonna make me like less enjoyable for you to talk to or anything, like that makes me less of a person. Like that's,
you're Hitler now.
It's pretty,
you
like
cats.
pretty
You're Hitler.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be like allergic to cats, but then again, that's kind of a shitty way to phrase it.
Yeah, but the people that are allergic
to cats, sorry,
always say they're allergic. People are like,
maybe they're actually a dog person. Maybe they're like a human dog hybrid.
They could be.
I'm a dog person.
Could be a puppy girl.
They could just say they're a furry then.
Was it hyphenated? I'm a dog person.
It's all one word.
Weird. Yeah, that weird take about dogs, Smitty. I mean, that's like, does no other race like pet ownership?
Right, that's the thing too.
Does
like,
this also
like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, so many different cultures have dogs and pets.
Does this not also consider the vast history of the relationship between humans and wolves?
Yeah. Like, I'm all for entertaining like biases people have towards other races and like how that affects like American culture, but like, fuck, dude, you're missing the mark so fucking far.
Yeah, that's a dog shit take, no pun intended. Any other shit tier takes, boys?
Nothing that comes to mind.
I'm sure if we go on Twitter today, we'll see like a billion of them we could have talked about.
The internet is full of just the shittiest, stupidest motherfucking takes, and it's pretty fun.
Here's a stupid take, especially with Twitter or X or whatever you want to call the free speech platform. I put the initials KYS on a post and got banned. And then I appealed it, and I was like, "Those are my initials, and I want this person to know who was telling them that." I'm still temp banned for the week.
I was just telling them to kiss their sister. It's whatever.
Yeah, right. Kiss your son, something like that.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit. And
No.
also, it was for putting a political ad on my Twitter, which you have as a reporting option that you could report political ads, but it doesn't do anything for some reason. So what the fuck? And now pretty soon I won't be able to block them. So that's garbage.
Yeah, I heard about that. Elon's going to remove blocking people as a feature.
Yeah. Anything that comes out of his mouth is a dog shit take.
That dude is
That's
dumb as
true.
hell.
It's because he figured out how many people are blocking him.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
Well,
Like,
not only that, but like you
millions
could
and
straight up
millions.
block advertisers. And I don't think advertisers like that you can block advertisers.
I have like 60 something hundred pages blocked.
There were some
Good on you.
advertisers who like pulled out recently. There's like an article written about it where they had ads that were displayed next to like really blatant Nazi posts, like pro-Nazi posts, and the advertisers like, nope, we're ducking out. Which I don't blame them. Like I'd fucking get out of there too.
Blatantly obvious
Heil
Nazi
Hitler,
post.
maybe
Just
Maybelline.
yeah, just below it's like Manscaped or something. You get the new lawnmower 4.0.
Yeah, it's a Manscaped for trimming your gooch, and then the immediate next post is a 14 words.
Yeah.
All right. I'm
Yeah.
fucking satisfied.
Cool.
Rico, what you got?
All right. Speaking of Elon, do you guys think that rich people actually do the I'm sure you probably remember the Most Dangerous Game, where they had some like rich dude at an island and he invited people to like
You hunt
hunt each
people.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious if you think any rich people do that type of shit, and if so, who and what?
I was literally thinking about this sort of stuff the other day, Rico. Like, so I was listening
I
to
do have an example, but
I was listening to Behind the Bastards, and like they talk about the awful people, right? It's a great,
Mhm.
great podcast. I was thinking as I was doing dishes yesterday, I'm like, I don't believe in a lot of QAnon stuff, but like you keep like I hear about like rich people trying to do like insane things that like normal person would think would be possible. Like for example, that billionaire who's like hell bent on trying to stop himself from aging.
Yeah.
And he takes like 60 vitamins a day, and his
he
dick
looks
doesn't
terrible.
work. He's 40 something years old, and he looks 40 something years old,
He looks
which is
fucking
hilarious.
bad.
But like I'm sure wealthy people are doing insane, gross things, whether and with the pursuit of like either getting more money or looking younger or like attaining some sort of powers. I believe they're doing that. Some of them are doing that sort of stuff. I do not believe it's working though. Like I know a lot of QAnon people are like harvesting adrenochrome or whatever the fuck, and like to keep themselves young. I don't necessarily believe that, but like I don't know if the QAnon people actually think about like whether or not it actually works. I think they just think it's being done. But like I don't think it actually
too much
like
about
it,
that.
I don't think it works, but I'm sure rich people do like insane, gross, unethical shit. Like
Yeah.
constantly.
I can't picture them having like an island where they're going to hunt people down, but I can see them wanting to flaunt their money so much to where they would pay like a pool boy to be like their footstool for like 3 hours and be like, I want you to sit here and don't move, and I'm just going to put my feet on you and you don't say a fucking word, and I'll give you like some insulting amount of money.
I don't think
I
that's
think
that
pretty,
weird. Like that's fetish content for some people.
Pretty recently, there was like a fancy restaurant where you could pay like $10,000 to $20,000 for like a meal or some shit, and the meal was also considered performance art, and I'm using that in quotations.
I hate it
The
already.
entire meal was served like on a man's face, and you would just eat the meal off the man's face.
I've seen
I
like
would let somebody eat food off my face for a large chunk of that money.
I've seen like people will like they'll pay like an attractive woman to have like a sushi bar on her body. Like that's not. I mean, it's bizarre, but like it's not that unheard of. Then I guess I get the performance art angle, but
Larry. So my one example, and this is an example of him doing anything. I don't want to. I don't know, have a tree lawyer come at me for defamation, but Larry Ellison, who's the CEO of Oracle, has an island in Hawaii, like his own private island. And he's kind of historically a douchebag piece of shit, also very rich.
who is
I could
this
see
guy?
him, like,
Larry
Ellison. CEO of Oracle. I could see him like
Gotcha.
shipping some homeless people to his island and having them hunt each other.
And that's kind of what I thought too, Rico. Like, there's a number of people that can go missing, and unfortunately, no one's going to know the wiser. They're
Yep.
just either off the radar, or they just don't have family, or they abandon their family. They're literally out there with nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, Lord knows how many sex slaves were on Little St. James, right?
Yeah.
So,
I didn't even think about him when I wrote this question.
Yeah.
I mean, that's already fucked
Actually,
up
a pretty good
as it
example.
is.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you have a log of people coming in and out to, engage in your weird pedophilia ring. That, how many people were on that island indefinitely in perpetuity with the people that are like being shipped in and out to that fucking island. God knows wherever else. Like, is it really that far-fetched to think that maybe there's some hunting going on with people that wouldn't be worth a damn if they went missing?
I can
Probably
picture
not.
Putin doing that. He seems like the kind of guy that would just like to kill somebody for fun.
I could picture a lot of world
Yeah.
leaders doing
But,
that,
like,
honestly.
I guess when I
sure.
think of like Musk or Zuckerberg or whatever, I think of them like the 80s, like kind of like the weird 80s, 90s, like almost bad guy where like they have like sunglasses on and they're in the back of some weird club. They've got their own private booth. Somebody's bringing them champagne. They got bottle service and it's like fucking robots fighting and they just don't want anybody to know that they're there.
Mhm.
I can picture them doing some weird shit like that. Otherwise, I think they're just weird individuals. I'm hoping that they're harmless, aside from the amount of harm that their industries have created.
A lot of them give me like Gus Fring vibes, big time, where it's just like the front is I'm the super generous billionaire. Look how much I donate. And then behind the scenes, it's like, what the fuck kind of fucked up shit are you doing?
Right.
Like, I don't
I
know.
mean,
Bill
like-
Gates, again, not to feed into QAnon because I know they love shitting on Bill Gates, but like, Bill Gates does give off some super villain vibes.
A lot of those, well, like to get that much money, how many necks, how many hundreds of thousands of necks do you have to step on to get that much money? Like, you
Yeah.
can't tell me a billionaire made his money in some sort of like relatable, like accessible way. Like, these guys do not work a billion times harder than the average person. Like, not only do they have access to resources, but you have to have this sort of like personality that allows you to like turn off empathy towards competitors or people who could at all like hinder you from getting to where they are. You know, you can't tell me Warren Buffett is like an ethical person behind the scenes.
I can get how like maybe with Gates and a few others, how like their inventions just based on the amount of necessity and the amount that we use them, we're using obviously the internet and whatnot, and everybody's using fucking Amazon. Like that stuff, I guess I can understand because there was such a huge market. But then there's other rich people that like, they still get to flaunt their money and do whatever the fuck. And it's like, who are you? How did you get this?
That's
Yeah.
exactly my
Yeah.
thought, Scott. Like, there's so many billionaires that we don't talk about or even know their names.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking.
And I will say,
leaders of mercenary groups and shit like that.
Right.
probably.
Dark money getting funneled into
Yeah.
whatever gross charity they supposedly fund.
Yeah, and you mentioned Putin. Somebody did.
Yeah.
All the oligarchs in Russia. Like,
Oh, fuck yeah.
I will say we keep going back to like Q shit, and that always kind of bothers me that like a lot of the alignment between like the rich people and the shady shit they do, and then the people that are in QAnon and whatnot. The one big difference is like those guys turn a blind eye to literally the people that are doing that within their own circles.
Mm-hmm.
So like for example, pretty recently, Noam Chomsky, who is a big fucking lefty, was outed as having a relationship with Epstein.
Ugh,
And
God.
I mean, there's no way
Fuck
to
him.
defend that at all. And it's just
No.
like, now you're a douchebag, you're a piece of shit. And no matter how he tries to justify, like, oh, it was just a business relationship. Oh, it was just this. It was just that. It's like,
Nah,
man,
dude.
like the fact that you tried to hide it means that there's something to hide.
Right.
I mean, like if he was out there like the next day being like, look, I worked with this guy, I don't feel good about it. I found out about this like in 2007 or whenever the fuck he got outed the first time. But the fact is, like, it was after he was jailed the first time that he was doing business with a known pedophile. So it's like that. There's no escaping that. But like comparative wise to the people who are like QAnon adjacent that want to rip on the rich people, they will selectively ignore the own crimes that are going on between, like, obviously Trump fucked kids. Obviously. He had a connection to Epstein. I don't think that's in any way slanderous to say.
Technically, I'd say allegedly.
Allegedly fucks kids.
He allegedly, obviously fucked kids.
Well, he
obviously allegedly fucks kids because he had a very strong connection to Epstein.
Yeah.
But like they'll ignore that, and then they'll say like the people that are grooming people are like fucking teachers and whatnot, and then they'll turn a blind eye to the Baptist church just got caught like again fucking a bunch of kids.
It's always churches,
right? So it's just like if you're principled in the way where you're just like rich people suck. And any rich people, regardless of if they align with my beliefs, if they're outed as sucking, then they fucking suck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You drop that motherfucker. Like if Bernie Sanders, like, and I have a lot of disdain for every single politician. If Bernie Sanders, it came out that he was like doing some heinous shit with kids or anything, I'd drop that motherfucker immediately.
Oh, easy.
Like you have to. You cannot both sides this and can't go like, what about so-and-so and try to ignore it. Like you either are principled or you're not.
There's nobody, celebrity, family member, whatever, that I would care to keep in my life if that meant sacrificing my moral compass.
For sure.
That shit.
Yep.
And there's always like the people on the right who are just like, what about Hunter Biden and all that shit? And then the people on the left are like, what about Trump and all that shit? It's like,
who fucking cares about Hunter Biden? He sounds like he's just smoking crack and going to naked water
not our
parks.
president.
no, I mean, that's the part they
family.
care about because their moral compass is all fucked up and they just like to post pictures of his cock. The man is actually corrupt. Like there's a lot of corruption behind the Biden family. And if there's something there to prosecute him on, fucking do it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Trump was doing fake elector shit. There's a pretty decent chance that like all these documents he had at Mar-a-Lago, he had a lot of spies that were there and a lot of like foreign nationals that came in through where he fucking lives down there, where he had all these like nuclear secrets and shit like that in his fucking bathroom.
Military documents next to the toilet.
Yeah, and the fact that he hid all that just meant that he's already a convicted criminal and liar and thief, and people are still trying to like suck his dick to get him into the fucking the White House. It's bullshit.
Exactly.
People are so stupid.
Yeah.
So he allegedly had people on his island and had them hunt each other.
Yeah.
That would not surprise me.
Yeah, it would not surprise me at all with him.
Like a lot of the if you go to any low income area in the United States, you can just why do you think serial killers operate in low income areas more than anything else?
Do they? I don't really pay attention.
Well, I mean, the serial killers have kind of dropped off or they've gotten better at hiding themselves. I don't know. But like anytime there's like human trafficking or like serial killer stuff, it's always their hunting grounds are always low income areas because nobody gives a shit about the poor. Like if a poor person disappears, like nobody gives two shits about it. Yeah. Or if like a poor kid who's living on the street disappears, like why would anybody like actively give a shit about it? You should give a shit about it, but nobody does.
Yeah.
I say we gather up all the rich and put them in a coliseum, make them fight.
Well, Musk and Zuckerberg were supposed to, which I swear to God, Zuck would turn that man into organic paste.
Yes, he would.
Which I do not make me defend Zuckerberg, but I would absolutely bet on Zuck to kill that man in the ring, and I would love every moment of it.
Zuck is fucking shredded, dude.
He is, and he like takes his shit seriously, and he's also like between the two, he's like normal-ish, more normal than fucking Musk. Like you're gonna give me tell me to look at two turds and which is more appetizing to put in my mouth. Like the one that looks like Zuckerberg, obviously. Like at least he has like he's like the goofy, weird, awkward guy, but he also has like a family and like isn't like running his company into the ground publicly.
Yeah, but I guess the difference between them for me is at least Musk is like a public idiot, and I hope that everything that he does is like well known. And Zuck, I feel like a lot of the sketchy shit he does is on the download that a lot of people still don't listen. Hence the fact
Oh,
that
absolutely. I
I still
agree
get
with that.
targeted ads on Facebook about shit that I even think about. I'd be happy if both of them ceased to exist today.
I also
Allegedly.
agree with that.
Allegedly, what if they all died?
Allegedly, that would be
I
a
would be
net positive
infinitely
for the
more
world.
happy. Allegedly.
Yeah.
So, like, with all that said, I mean, is it really that far fetched that they like hunt people?
No, absolutely not.
I think allegedly they absolutely would.
Yeah.
I think allegedly we should hunt them.
Well, like how much
Before
gross
they hunt us.
sexual
Yeah,
shit
allegedly.
happens in Hollywood all the fucking time. That's like almost like an open secret all the time.
Yeah.
Like Weinstein was like, it was an open secret that he was a gross fuckhead. Like how many other
That's true.
Weinsteins are there that it's not so much an open secret, or it is and people just aren't flipping on them at this point?
Yeah, it's all a power game.
Yeah.
Also, we should just stop giving rich people and celebrities power. Their opinions suck ass. Their takes are garbage. Who fucking cares?
They should come on our podcast and tell us their hot takes.
They
Hot
should
take.
collectively die.
Depending on who it was, if somebody said
Allegedly.
we'd pay your podcast to have this famous person on, I don't know if I'd vote to have him on.
I absolutely would if it was under our own terms and conditions. The moment they set like, you could say this, you can't ask about this,
Totally.
gone. No
I
I
fucking
would
way.
only allow them on there if they were Kevin James.
I guess if they were a shit person
I'd bring him on. I'm
and
down.
they were on the show, it would be fun to roast them. So,
Yeah.
all right, I'm down with that.
I'd have KJ on the show, man.
I honestly, like, if we had like a D-list actor like Kevin James on here, I don't think I could say that he sucks to his face.
Yeah,
I
what
think
if he was
I think
generous
I'd
of you,
feel
Smitty?
too bad.
What if he was
like,
just a good dude and he
Like, that's what I was thinking.
But
It's like,
he's
what
not.
meshes well?
He's not.
that? Like, yeah, I know he's probably not, but like, I don't think I could do that because I'm like, I don't really want to hurt a stranger's feelings. Like, I know I'm being such a pussy about this, but like, I would feel
Yeah,
something in me
I
would feel
that.
bad to say like, "Hey, man, you suck,"
Yeah. Thanks for being on the
which
show.
is like the lightest criticism possible, but still,
Like, hey man, thanks for being on the show.
why do you
Everything
fucking
you've
suck?
done is garbage. I just like I would feel horrible.
life work,
I probably
work.
would.
Trash.
Your legacy is shit.
Yeah, like if you just
What's your
type in the
hot take?
words on
Kevin
Google,
James
Kevin
legacy.
James is an asshole, you're just going to see like all these different stories pop up as I am now of examples people have where like they had an interaction with Kevin James and overwhelmingly he is an asshole.
Okay, maybe I wouldn't feel too bad about it.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know, but only if I was like immediate, like if I knew for a fact that they were a piece of shit. Like if Joe Rogan came on our podcast,
Like
I'd talk shit about him.
let's see here, like Kevin James, someone tried to shake his hand once and he literally slapped the person's hand. Apparently he drinks too much on a lot of flights and he's an asshole to flight attendants. Like there's just
Okay,
Oh.
I don't
fuck
know,
him.
a lot of shit about how he's just a giant piece of shit.
It's not
And for
even
someone who's
Legend.
and I wouldn't even say a D-list actor, for someone who's a F-tier actor
Ooh,
like Kevin James, you don't have that kind of status to do that shit.
it's not like
You
people
never do.
are frequently running up to him and be like, "Please do that scene from King of Queens," and like it's not like he does like anything super well done. Like I went to Dave and I went to Comic-Con a few weeks ago, and I went up to a voice actor, and he did all the voices for like all the clone troopers and the animated Star Wars stuff, and he's done a lot of other things. And I
Who
was
was
like,
it?
D. Bradley Baker. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
And I was like, hey man, I just want to say like I appreciate you for what you do, and I'm a big fan, and you know, thank you for the things that you've done. And he just like shook his head, and I was like, all right, good talk, man. Like I didn't even like go up to him and ask him like, do the voice, because that'd be like fucking horse shit. I would totally understand, or like if people were like walking up trying to sneak pictures of him, it's like I'm just trying to be a genuine dude telling you thank you, and that's how you want to act. Come on.
Yeah.
So
Pretty
fuck
fucking
Pile of
satisfied.
assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Rico, you satisfied?
Pretty fucking satisfied.
Hell yeah. If you like what you hear, you can write in to our show. No, I do the reviews first. If you like what you hear, leave us a review or a rating on your podcast directory of choice. Recently, I found out that Overcast does not let you leave reviews or rankings or ratings, which I think is really weird. I have the app just to see like what our show looks like on various platforms, and there is no rating option on Overcast, which is a bummer because a lot of our listeners come from Overcast. So if you're on Overcast, just navigate on over to Apple or Spotify for a moment and leave us a rating. And then we will stop bothering you. You could also leave a question to the show, leave a comment to the show, all of that good stuff. 708-433-9153 is the number. Just tell us how you're feeling.
Yeah, can I propose something?
Maybe.
Can we get at least 3 listeners to call and submit a voicemail, a legitimate voicemail with a question? We should do a listener episode. Maybe we'll make it boners only.
No, I wouldn't do that.
No.
I wouldn't paywall the people that pay for the show, but unlike we did that for Beau, but I mean like that was funny.
I guess that's fair. All right. Well, call in and submit an actual voicemail and we'll play it on the show and we'll answer your questions. And that'll be cool as shit.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we get 4 voicemails, actual legitimate voicemails. We will do a listener episode. I'd love to hear that from each of you as they're coming in or whatnot in the episodes to come. Maybe I'll just give you guys a quick update where we are with that. But 4 unique individuals. Beau, that doesn't mean call in 3 times. All right, buddy? I mean, I
Use
love
a
you, but
voice
Jesus
modulator
Christ.
if you're going to.
Yeah.
It's like Beau going, "Hey guys, it's Beau. My first question is this," and all of a sudden you're, "This is an anonymous question." My
Hey guys, it's
hey guys, this is
Joe.
Joe.
yeah, Jeau.
Hey, this is Mo.
Yeah, but it has like that super deep like modulator thing that they use for like whistleblowers and stuff and like snitches on games.
Yeah.
But, like
like
he's
garbled. and
submits
stuff.
a video of it and like it's just a shadow.
It's a robot voice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
708-433-9153. Leave us your questions and your comments on the show. Like us on our socials, r/Important Questions Pod on Reddit for any show discussion you want to have with us boys. At Important Questions Podcast or the Important Questions Podcast on Instagram and at Imp Questions PDC on Twitter. A lot of fun engagement on Twitter these days. It's always a blast to participate with shit like that. And we're on YouTube. If you like episodes on YouTube, we're there too. So find us there.
We on Blue Sky yet?
What?
We on Blue Sky yet?
No.
I'll send you a code then.
Yeah, I got a code
All right.
too. Fuck yeah.
I do have one as well, but
Well, fuck. I'll keep mine then.
I'll
Fuck you.
happily run that one if you want me to run Blue Sky.
do it.
Sweet.
And then finally, most importantly, because it helps us the most financially, $1 a month donation on Patreon. That's patreon.com/the important questions to support the boys that you've grown so tenderly to love. And we're not asking you to give us $1 just to support, even though that is a very nice thing for you to do. You get one extra episode at the last Tuesday of the month that other non-donors get. So last Tuesday of the month, you do not donate $1. Tuesday comes rolling around, and you're thinking, shit, the boys didn't upload. But that's the thing. We did upload to Patreon, just not to the public feed. So this month, which is coming out here in about another week, we got some erotic fan fiction reviews and readings that were taken from some of the deepest, darkest, shittiest forums online. Truly an enjoyable time, and I hope you guys enjoy that for those that do donate to the show. If you're interested in something a little bit off the normal format, but you love our personalities, this is a great opportunity.
Hell yeah. That was
Hell
a fun
yeah.
one. Painful, but
It was
fun.
a very fun one.
Mm-hmm.
Like anal sex.
Any final thoughts, boys?
No.
Nah.
No,
Oh,
All right.
shit, dude.
allegedly.
So Glinko, it's going to be twice a day now.
Oh, goddamn.
for today only.
Good on you, man.
One day
I'm proud of-
Okay,
proud
your
of you
RBI
and
average
your
has
balls.
changed.
Damn, fucking it up.
Have a good week.
And we'll see you next time.
Yup.
Bye.